art business really works since he has that experience.
And it helps because if someone said to me, I'm trying to get my novel out, but I need to learn the business side. And someone said to me, you never want to think about the business side or ruin your art. And I realized after the person said that, I had stopped writing because I was kind of nervous. Will they like this? Will they not like it? You know? And really, as an artist, you're so sensitive, aren't you? I mean, like, you don't want to part with your paintings. They're like your babies, you know? It's the same with thoughts, right? You don't want to part with your thoughts if somebody's going to mess around with them and not really understand what you're communicating, right? And so I feel a lot of times that the business side is really what ruins a lot of artists.
Yeah.
And I feel like artists overall are very supportive of each other usually, right? Have you ever run into an artist that was a little jealous of you or anything?
I don't want to name names, but I think the art world, it really is just like any other industry. You can find a strong support group, but there are going to be some people who just don't like what you do.
Yeah, it's always competition. And I feel,
whatever their reasons are.
Yeah, and a lot of times I feel like there's enough for everybody to go around.
Absolutely,
I think the world's huge.
Yeah, that's certainly my approach as going into the art world further is we're not competing. There really is a place for all of us.
Yes.
We can all help out each other because in the end, you know, we're all going to win.
Yes, that's how I feel too. There's room for everybody. And do you feel sometimes that when you when you let go of your painting, do you mourn, or how do you feel?
I really do.
Do you stay in contact with the people that buy them?
No, I have enough of a connection with those people at the onset to trust that my artwork is in a good home.
Oh my God, it's so sweet. What was I just gonna say about?
I do have a few great collectors.
That's what I was gonna ask. You have collectors?
A few that have kept in touch over the years, and you know they'll let me know how much they continue to love the pieces that they've collected, and that really means a lot to me.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. I know as an artist that having a collector and a mentor and a patron is very important. So you have both. You have mentor / patron, and you have collectors. And so a lot of times if you're making art, are you thinking about the collectors though?
Not really, because the collectors already know me as an individual. They know what style I'm going to produce with, and they've been so supportive. I cannot say enough about my collectors. If they're watching this, they've really made a difference in my life.
Yeah, that's the last artist I spoke to. She says, I like collectors. You want your art to be collected. I never thought about that before. And that makes sense. Like when you buy a book, you want to buy the same artist. Like I'm a big Jack Reacher fan.
Oh yeah.
I collect those books. So I'm like, I never thought about that way before. Makes sense. So I met your dog. Thank you for letting me meet Blossom. She's adorable, and I'm not allergic to her.
Okay, good.
So now I know I'm not allergic to corgis.
Okay.
What made you choose a corgi?
I had a corgi before. I just lost her last July. And it was just really hard. And my partner was like, you need to get another dog. Yes. And, that's the thing about creating art is, like a lot of your other guests, especially writers, you just get so locked in on something. You don't even go outside.
So shower.
Yeah. So
brush your teeth.
So having a dog has at least given me a little bit of normalcy in my life to go out, take her on walks.
Yeah. So she basically grounds you.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. And my plants too.
Oh yeah, I love your orchids out there, my God. I could never keep an orchid alive. I don't know why.
So your podcast, you've been doing that for like a few years now, right?
Yeah, I started at the end of 2020. Oh my gosh, yes. It's been at least a year. But I didn't start the Golden Guest so maybe 6 months after that. But yeah, I think you're going to be my maybe 10th guest. So it's been almost a year. And I'm glad you decided to come on because my April guest had backed out.
Oh, okay.
And so then I said, I'm going to Las Vegas. I hope K.L. will be ready. Maybe she's ready now to talk to me. And you were. And I was so happy. Because, again, as an artist, and you're not the first artist who said, "Oh, let me get back to you," and that's something I understand, the shyness and sharing your soul, because you already do that in your pictures, but now you have to verbally do it too. I understand that it's rough, but I also started this podcast after watching Sundance, being at Sundance and watching all the artists up there getting asked questions. Mm-hmm. And I thought it would be a great thing just to do that out here during COVID, because you're still making art and you still want to sell your art. And I know how hard it is to get out there and talk in front of people, and I think this is a great little exercise. And now that you've done a few fairs and festivals, mm-hmm. you're ready to kind of go viral here.
Yeah, sure, let's go viral. But yeah, it was certainly like a hesitation, just because it's like, I don't, how do you talk about something that you just put into a picture, but you still feel so passionately about.
And you do feel passionately. I mean, you don't want to give up your art unless you like the people. Yeah, so I've never heard that either. You know what I mean? A lot of people just will sell things online, like, okay. But you're very passionate. Yeah, so, and that's why I knew I wanted to talk to you, but I also knew because you're passionate, you might be a little shy. So as a Sagittarius, you're bold in your art. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think your moon is a little shyer. Okay. So I have to figure out what your moon is when I get home. I have my book with me.
Yeah. We'll do a follow-up.
Are you into astrology?
I followed it. Can't say I'm like dedicated on it, but I love hearing about it. I just love how it makes you realize that there's other things into play with what goes on in our daily lives, and it kind of puts you into this position where we're all in like this big river almost, where you have different flows, different ebbs and flows, all on different currents. And there's almost a pattern to those currents, yet we're still also individual too.
Yes. Wow, that's a good way to put the river thing. That was good. Yeah, it's just a map to look at, just like anything else. Which way do I want to go on my map? Mm-hmm. And you have choices. Mm-hmm. And most of the time, we're not thinking about our choices. We're just acting because that's how we've been raised to just, a lot of people don't really think. And as an Asian, that's all we're raised to do from the very beginning. We're raised to go to the temple and listen to the monk and sit there quietly at the age of 2. So it's just a part of my life. Some people say you think too much. But I feel like if you don't think, because I didn't think when I was a teenager, I just want to try to break away from that, be my own person. And I got in a lot of trouble, and I said, what am I doing wrong? Mm-hmm. And that's when I got into astrology, and I took a deep dive into it, and I was like, oh, that's why, because sometimes your emotions are mixed up because these planets are fighting each other. Mm-hmm. Especially the big outer planets that are moving around right now. When you look at astrology in the whole world, it makes sense. Individually, you have to really look for a long time to see how they act and how it's going to turn out, So that's what I do with my kids and my little mice. I watch them. Okay, so what are you working on over there?
Which one?
Is that a little girl with a sheep?
This one? Yeah. Yes.
Is that a dream too?
It was a vision I had when I couldn't sleep one night. So you could call it a dream, but I was wide awake and staring into the darkness, and then this vision just emerged from the darkness.
And I can see the hand with the string, a puppet.
This is actually the whole concept for this one is about being in a moment where you're going back to a form of yourself that was innocent, but recognizing that all around you is this darker element, these darker beings that are constantly surrounding you, always pulling you back. So again, there's that struggle between light and dark, but is still always part of us and can't ignore one another.
Right.
So in this background, this is actually the same girl just standing up looking over her. And then you see these other animals like a tiger, a snake, there's going to be wolves, and then just an even bigger entity of just pure darkness in the background. So that one's still a very early stage that I'll be working on.
Well,
I really feel comfortable in the 2D mediums, and even writing has been very helpful to me.
Yeah.
I think that I love film, like events like Sundance Film Festival, but those tend to put more of a narrative in their storytelling, whereas with 2D, you get one image and it's open to interpretation.
Oh, I see.
I like what I most value is when a potential collector sees one of my art pieces and they see something of themselves in the art piece.
That's like me with this.
Uh-huh.
Because it looks like me and I was like, what the? I've had dreams like that where I was like a bad girl. What was I doing there? I don't know. I can't remember. Because I definitely have the dark side of me too. You know, everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
You just learn to embrace it because the dark side kind of pushes you to see the good side of yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's how I feel about the dark side. I mean, because that's what I say to my kids. There's two parts to you, you know, and it's okay to be bad sometimes as long as you don't hurt someone. You know, if you want to go really fast in your car, it's okay. Just don't hurt anyone doing it because you need to get it out, you know. And I think that's why I brought him to Las Vegas, just to say, it's a great place. There's all things you can do. You know, there's bad parts too, there's good parts, just like anywhere else you are. And if you can embrace fear of losing money, then at least you can start to see who you are. You know, what am I about? Is it all about money, or can I let go of some money? Can I look at it this way? And when we lost $100, I said, we've been here for 6 hours. We lost $100. I said, you go to dinner, you spend $150, and it's an hour. I said, so if you look at it as like, you know, entertainment, then you can say, oh, I would have lost $100 anyways out to dinner tonight.
No, you're great. This has been a lot of fun. It really has.
Good. Good. That's why I love talking to artists, and that's why the Golden Guest came up. She's like, I need to know I'm not the only one who's crazy. So you need to get stuff out. Because once you see the artists like Meryl Streep, you're not getting the real Meryl anymore. You're not getting why she started in the first place. You might not get that raw part of her, you know? So I figure if I get in on you before you're famous, you know, you got the little rawness still. You know what I mean? And I think that is the initial spark you need, that rawness to come out, right? Where you feel comfortable showing your dreams and your nightmares and your family and what you love. And if you didn't love it, you wouldn't paint it.
Right.
You know? And I think a lot of people don't understand artists. They think we're flaky. You know, we're not grounded. We're impractical. We say things over and over.
We're not entirely that way. Maybe a little bit.
No, I mean, but I think you have to be a little bit crazy to really be an artist, to really express it. Because if you're not crazy, you don't need to let it out.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
And I think a lot of people that go crazy don't express themselves. Especially in the society where, you know, like, we don't want to see that. We don't want to hear that. You know, we don't want our kids to know that. You know, like right now with the gays, you know, don't say you're gay in Florida. It's like, that's not what kids need. And they're not trying to tell the kids to be gay. It's just like, if you are, just say it. You know, and it's okay. It's okay. You know? And that's what I think my podcast, what I want for artists is, it's okay. I understand if you're shy. I understand all those things. And I'll slowly massage you into coming to talk to me. Because I think I asked you 6 months ago, maybe a year.
It was at least a few months. Yeah, at least a few months ago. It's been such a culmination of just from us meeting and everything that we've been doing in our own lives, and to be able to share it together and share it with everyone else.
Yeah. And we met so inspirationally at the Sundance, and we connected so well.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're my family from somehow, somewhere, you know. And I think, thank you, honey, for having me here.
Thank you for inviting me, for doing this for other artists, for sharing your storytelling gifts.
Oh, thank you, honey.
This has been